All right, we are live, and this is episode 25 of Talking Movies with Sean, Kenny, and Jim. I am Sean,
I'm Kenny.
I'm Jim.
and we are here for a very special episode of our show tonight. We are celebrating two anniversaries. One, of course, is the 50th anniversary of Jaws, which is considered the first summer blockbuster and actually the first blockbuster movie of all time. And then we have a slightly lower scale anniversary.
But definitely more important.
Well, not quite as revolutionary, but it is the first anniversary of our little rinky-dink show, which premiered on July 2nd of 2024. So actually tomorrow is the official day, but I wasn't going to reschedule the show on a Wednesday. So today's the day. So we've already got action in the chat room. Mr. Dan, Greg, thank you for being here.
Hello,
Right, fellas. Thank you so much as always.
Yeah, and I'd like to take a chance to or take the time to thank everybody who supported the show over the last 365 days or 364 days, as the case may be. Mr. Dan has his granddaughter over, and they have a karaoke machine, so we are saying small prayers for him as he watches the show with us. So tonight, hey Sean, the other Sean is here.
What's up, Sean?
So tonight we are going to just sort of meander through both of our anniversary stuff. We'll start with Jaws, and then we'll get into the first anniversary of our show, kind of talk about the highlights and what we've enjoyed about doing the show and stuff. We probably won't spend a whole lot of time, patting each other on the backs. Hey, Sarah.
You guys.
Sarah's here.
Hi,
Hey, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Geez, everybody just pouring in.
Texas is here.
What's up, buddy?
Texas steer.
And so let's get the show underway. We actually missed the 50th anniversary of Jaws by 2 weeks? A little less than 2 weeks.
Week and a half or so.
Yeah, it came out on June 20th of 1975. And I actually just watched the documentary Jaws at 50, which I think is the full name of it. It just came out. I think it's on Peacock.
It is on the cock, yeah.
It is on the cock. And
Jaws on the cock?
Jaws on the cock.
They have all the sequels too.
Yeah.
I had to refer. I am probably the least with the knowledge of Jaws here. I've watched it twice.
You've only seen Jaws twice?
I've seen Jaws twice. I've seen it probably about 20 years ago and Monday. Yesterday, yesterday was Monday, stupid. Yeah, so so I had to get refreshed on this.
Okay.
So I am but if it was Miss Congeniality, boy, let me tell you. I've seen that about 1,000 times.
So you're perfectly.
We love you, Kenny. We still love you.
You're perfectly suited to talk about.
I'm perfectly ready for the dialogue tonight. I'm just gonna sit back with my Saquon jersey and just let it rip.
Oh, I don't know why you can't see the chat, Sean. I don't know.
Do you have the comments on, Sean?
Yeah.
No, not you, Sean.
There we go with the Sean.
Sorry.
I'll step away from the microphone.
Go ahead, Sean. Our Sean. Go ahead, Sean.
Me?
Yeah, you. Yeah, you.
So I'm wearing the replica of the filming shirt from Jaws. If you watch that documentary, you'll see everybody, Steven Spielberg and even Robert Shaw, wearing a copy of this shirt. I ordered this from Fright Rags, not a sponsor.
Not yet.
Not yet. And I actually had to get a second copy of this shirt because the first one I kind of grew out of.
Enough said.
Yeah. But they have them available if you're interested. But it's kind of a neat collection they have of Jaws stuff. But yeah, I started watching Jaws. The first time I saw it was in '76. I think my parents took me to see it at the drive-in. Of course, my mom was like fighting like crazy to try to hide my eyes from all the gory stuff, which didn't really work too well. And I was, how old was I? 8. Yeah, I was 8 years old when I saw it. So Patrick's here. I'm here for the bad shark movie chat. And Jim has volunteered to take that part of the show.
Yes.
So
Well,
he's going
most of
to
mine
not
have
necessarily
nothing to do with sharks.
some of them don't. Yeah, they're just ripoffs, but
Yep.
I can handle some of them too. I've got one as my recommended film of the week. So there you go.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Taking a page out of Kenny's book this week.
Oh, Lord. Actually, you guess in a way you could say so did I. So it's all
Awesome.
good.
See, I'm
Kenny
rubbing
will
off
have the
on you
highbrow
guys.
pick. Kenny's pick of the
See,
week
Kenny?
on Tubi. Sophie's choice.
No, I did.
you
No,
know,
I
and then
do
you
have
get
a
off.
shark. I do have a shark movie from Tubi that I did watch.
Awesome.
So,
Oh, okay.
So nah.
So you've seen that movie
Yeah, I
one
have
less
seen
time
that.
than
I have
Jaws.
seen. I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that twice.
All right, Patrick has a legit question. He said, which was more suspenseful, Duel or Jaws? It's harder than you think.
I think.
I'll go with Jaws. I'll still go with Jaws. As much as I love Duel.
Yeah, Duel is
And
great.
I do love Duel. I really do. It's the prototype to Jaws, actually. But
Right.
I'll go with
Spielberg
Jaws.
actually said that Duel is Jaws is sort of the sequel to Duel in a way.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. I can see that.
I would actually say, I mean, if you think about it too long, you get into your own head, but I would say Duel because you don't know what the motivation of the truck driver or the truck is at all.
And plus, Dennis Weaver, man, he was so good in that movie. There's that scene where he's like drinking a cup of coffee in there, and all you see is the truck circling around, making like dust and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, Jaws didn't do that.
There's a shooting star in Jaws. Duel didn't do that.
There's 2 shooting stars in Jaws.
Yeah, I know. But he only saw the movie twice, so I didn't want to fuck with him too much.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't get that out of my head. You've only seen Jaws twice.
I have. I'm dead serious with you because when you brought up the topic, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to watch this again.
I watched Jaws. I'm not
you seen the
exaggerating. I watched
sequels?
Jaws. Have you seen the sequels, Kenny?
I seen the one with Leah Thompson because I had a crush on Leah Thompson in high school, so I did watch that
So you
one.
saw
but
Jaws 3.
And then okay, you ready? Jaws 3, Jeff Man 316. I was up, I couldn't sleep, so he had a watch along. So I watched it along with him. You know, because he was talking about Louis Gossett Jr. and how bad of an actor he was in that movie. But I haven't seen the 4th one. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
Michael Caine
It's not,
hasn't either.
it's if it was made by the Asylum, maybe I would have watched it by now. Or
Yeah.
I still can't
Sorry.
believe you've watched some of those shitty Asylum movies only one more time than you've seen Jaws. That's
I know.
just beyond
I
incredible.
was telling my cousins, they took me out for my birthday yesterday, and I said, "Oh, we're doing Jaws," and they're like, "Have you seen it?" I was like, "Yeah, I watched it today." And they're like, "Well, that's one more time than I watched it." I'm like,
So, Jim, how old were you when you saw Jaws for the first time?
Uh-oh.
Whoop.
"Oh, Jim's cut."
Uh-oh.
Us.
I think we lost
Is it up?
Jim.
Okay. I wanted to make sure we weren't frozen. Or are we frozen?
No,
Nope,
you
we're
were
not.
frozen. Not now.
I can see you.
Okay.
We can hear
Okay,
you.
good deal. I was well aware of Jaws from the moment that it came out because I'm the youngest of 5 kids, but I was too young to see it. and everybody in my family saw it. So for 3 years, I heard every moment of that movie. And then I saw Jaws 2 when that came out. So I saw Jaws 2 first. And that was in 78. So I was 11. And right after Jaws 2 hit, and it was such a huge hit, they re-released the original one in the theaters. And then I went and saw that one in the theater.
Okay.
And again, I knew every beat, every moment going in. My sister, oh, there's a part where he's in the shark, where he's in the cage. There's another part where a head pops out. Nobody told me about the choke scene. Why don't you come back
scene?
here?
Oh, we're kind of losing you, Jim.
Still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't be on him.
When he's chumming the shit and it pops out of the water, that's the part that nobody told me about, and I damn near shit my pants. And yeah, Jaws is a perfect movie. I've loved it for 47 years now. So, and I definitely have seen it more than twice. I've seen it maybe 100 times, at least 100 times.
Wow.
I've seen it twice this year.
Look at you guys like putting my nose in there.
No, it is my all-time favorite movie. It used to be between that and Star Wars, but now there's no contest. I hate to say it, but the sequels have sort of soured me on Star Wars. Has kind of sullied the whole reputation of that series, and I hate to say it, but you know, if I watch Star Wars now, it's just I have to think about where the series goes and where all the characters go, and it just like, meh. But Jaws, I don't think about the sequels at all because I've seen them multiple times, all of them. And because it's a different shark every single time, somehow it makes it easier.
It was funny is you just pointed out, okay, it's a different shark every time. But yet the tagline of the fourth one is this time it's personal.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, why?
Yeah. Kenny, you put in the chat one night that Michael Caine said that he's never seen Jaws 4, but he's seen the house it built.
Yeah.
And what's really sad is the only reason why he didn't accept the Oscar for Hannah and her sisters is because he was filming that piece of shit at the time.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
That's a shame.
Thanks, Texas. Somebody understands what I'm saying. Guys, I can't follow the chat. You guys are going nuts.
I'm there with you.
There, so, yeah. So if I miss something in the chat, I will try to get back to it. But you guys are chatting it up in there. So Kenny and Jim, if you guys see something that I should call out and I miss, let me know.
I don't have my chat on. My phone is
okay.
Like
Patrick has a thing up and says, "Did you ever read the novel? Is the novel different? Okay, is the novel different from the movie?
Much.
Yes. Yeah.
Every character in the novel's a piece of shit.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Hooper sleeps with Brody's wife.
Yeah, Hooper and Brody's wife have an affair. Oh, there it is. Yeah, also the focus is different. Brody is not really the hero, or he's not sort of in the movie. The movie sort of makes him out more like the hero. He's not in the book. I don't think there really is a hero in the book, and you sort of are led to believe that the townspeople are sort of the hero, when the movie is much more like the townspeople are the villains because they don't want their businesses to be affected by the shark, and the mayor turns out to be such an asshole because he doesn't want the beaches to close, and the businesses don't want the beaches to close. The mafia's involved somehow. I forget exactly how.
Quite honestly, the book's not that good.
No, it's a shitty book. It's a really shitty book.
It's a great premise, but it's not a great book.
No.
Whereas the movie is a great movie. I mean, it takes the premise of the book and just, Spielberg makes it what it is.
Amity means friendship. Yeah, the book. Peter Benchley wrote the book, and it was his first book. He sold the movie rights, and then they gave him the option to write the first version of the script. And he wrote the first 3 versions of the script, and then Spielberg turned it over to, I think it was Carl Gottlieb, I believe. But or maybe somebody else, but he just told him eviscerate this because writing a script and writing a book are two different things. So he tore it to pieces. He got rid of the whole affair part and made it more like Brody being the hero and all that kind of stuff. So it was heavily rewritten. And then, of course, there was all the technical problems with the shark, the mechanical shark, that had to
Bruce.
Bruce, named after Steven Spielberg's lawyer, which the movie was 100 days over schedule. And Spielberg constantly lived with the fact that he thought that he was going to get fired at any minute. And the studio guys kept kind of pressuring him. They thought the movie wasn't going to get finished. He didn't think the movie was going to get finished.
Nobody thought it was going to get finished.
Yeah, nobody thought it was going to get finished. And he said he was so traumatized after the movie was done, even though it was successful, because he didn't know it, but he had PTSD after the movie was done.
Wow.
That he actually went to the Universal Jaws ride, and they had a replica of the orca that was docked in the harbor of the Jaws ride. And he would go and hide in that replica of the orca and or actually it was the orca from the filming, I guess, one of the copies of the orca that they had from the film. He would lay down on the couch that was there, the dinner scene couch.
Mm-hmm.
And he would lay down and hide from the people going through the ride. And he would just lay in there and cry for years. He would do
wow. Figured he would do that if it was like 1941, the ride. You know, I mean, you'd think he would have PTSD from that experience, you know?
I guess he had enough clout at that time where, I'll work again.
That's true. That's true.
But I didn't know it. He was only 27 years old when he made Jaws. Can you imagine the pressure of being 27 years old and it being your third film? And it goes $100 million over budget and it's 100 days over budget. Just ridiculous. So I think it was $100 million over budget.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that much over budget.
No, it was
unless that's updated today.
Yeah, maybe updated for inflation. That was.
There's no fucking way. I mean, the budget on Jaws was like under 20, I think. So.
Yeah. I took that from the documentary today. They said that number, but I don't think that's accurate for back then.
Like I said, that might be adjusted. That might be adjusted for inflation or something. You know, because we're talking 50 years. So
right.
I'll tell you one thing I liked about it. It was shot very well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the overall look of it, like when he's sitting watching his kids play, like on the boat and stuff like that, and even the underwater when Dreyfus finds the body under the water. I thought that was really well done. Well, I mean, that stuff like I've never seen like before. Like, you know,
how about one of the best camera shots in movie history, where him and his wife are sitting on the beach when the kid gets attacked, and it's a pull in and a zoom in at the same time.
Oh yeah.
It's been imitated a million times since, but that was definitely the first time I ever saw that in a movie, and it was like
that was like a Hitchcock kind of like
he said that was his homage to Hitchcock.
Split diopter, whatever they call it. Yeah.
Yep. They break that whole scene down in the documentary. The whole scene with the wipes with the people walking in front of Brody, and then they cut closer to him, and then they do that split diopter shot, and then they do, you know, the whole thing, and then when Alex Kittner gets hit, and then they do that. It's a zoom out or a zoom in, pull out, or pull in, zoom in, pull out.
It pulls out on the background and zooms in on him at the same time.
Yeah,
and it's just it's such a great shot. It is such a great shot.
Yeah, that's an amazing shot.
Speaking of Alex Kittner, that's why I'm wearing black.
Sunday was the 50th anniversary of Alex Kittner's death.
I know. I saw that meme and I started laughing.
Victor said that the scene involving Alex is scarier than the opening scene, and I don't know if that's a hot take. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
No, not at all.
I think the thing that gets me about that scene, other than the zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, pull out, is when you see the fins roll over in the water. You see the gushing of the blood, then you see the fins, and that's all you see of the shark. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so it's accurate.
And they don't zoom in on it. It's in the background.
Yeah, it's way off.
They don't call attention to it. That's what makes it so damn effective, you know?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's just, you're like, what is that? You just see the fins come out of the water and then they go back in. That's totally, that whole thing is so set up so well. But yeah, the opening shot definitely is grabs you by the balls right out of the gate too. Yeah, I'm sort of all over the place on this movie because I don't know where to start.
Not at all, man.
But yeah, the opening scene with Chrissy, I can't remember the name of the actress.
She just passed away too.
Yeah, she just passed away. Her last name is Backliny, I think. Christine, I think, is her first name. But they had her in a harness around her waist, and they had 5 people on each side pulling her with a rope through the water. So that's why it looks so violent when she's getting hit. Hey, Corey.
Never.
Susan, thank you, Patrick.
Yeah, I thought I had a picture of her from. Sorry if I'm like looking off in the distance. I showed these guys earlier. I got a Steven Spielberg box set which has a bunch of different movies, and it's got Jaws, but it also has 1941. And they used the same actress at the very beginning of 1941, and it's a parody of the opening of Jaws. And I was hoping that there was like a little thing in here, but there's not. But yeah, it's such an iconic opening for Jaws, and it's parodied so many times, but none so better than that opening of. I mean, Spielberg did it himself with the same woman on a submarine with Christopher Lee and Toshiro Mifune in it. I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, Susan Backliny. Yeah, that's her name. Like an idiot, I don't have the Jaws IMDb page pulled up for the show, so now I do. But it casts this really crappy glow on my face, so I don't like having that up all the time. But yeah, that they were talking about that as one of the greatest opening scenes of all time, because it literally you open it up with the camera going through the water like the shark. You hear that sort of ominous music.
Yep.
You cut to the beach. You don't know anything about what's going on. 2 characters meet each other. She gets in the water. You see the camera go up from underneath her. The music starts, and then bang, she gets hit. You don't see a thing, but you know something's in the water. You don't see it. You don't see the shark. Yeah, her performance when
she starts doing the breathing real hard. I mean, it's effective, you know.
Yeah. That's just one of the best opening scenes of all time. Yeah, and Victor just nailed it. Jaws is a movie of 2 halves. The horror thriller is in the first half, and then the adventure drama film is in the second half. And I think that's what makes it so good. It's literally a movie that I think it has universal appeal, no pun intended, since it was released by Universal. But I think it stands up really well today. Even with the mechanical effects, they might look a little dopey, but they still look 100% better than any of the CGI sharks that I've ever seen. In 90% of the movies that come out today. So I'm going to shut up now because I feel like I've been talking nonstop for 24 minutes. So.
No, not at all.
No,
not at all. I mean, again, you know, you've barely scratched the surface of what makes this movie so great, because it's a perfect movie. I've seen this movie so many times. I can't find a single flaw. It's just, it never gets old. And like the best movies, every year it gets better. It's you know, you can say the effects are a little bit dicey, but they were dicey from day one, you know. And I don't know about you, but like you said, I would much rather see the shark in Jaws than the sharks in Deep Blue Sea, for instance. And I like Deep Blue Sea. I think that movie's a lot of fun. Okay, but those sharks don't look any better than the ones in Jaws. They really don't. Now I think the shark in Jaws 2 looks decent. I think that is a slight improvement from the first one, but I might be. A lot of people argue with me on that one. I don't know where your thoughts are on that one.
They added the scarring on it to make it look scarier because they knew they were going to show it faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's the one scene where it slides against the side of the boat where you see the jaw that the jaw kind of molds in, and you can tell it's made out of rubber. Yeah. That just killed the effect for me. So I don't know. But there are some better mechanical effects in that movie, I think. You'd think,
I like the Freddy Krueger burn scar.
Yeah. Patrick says he thinks that they should have left the affair in the movie.
In Jaws 2, okay, I mean, I know we're still talking about Jaws 1, and that's the focus of this, okay? But to me, Jaws 2 not only is the best of all of the sequels, okay? I mean, it doesn't hold a candle to the original, but it's definitely better than everything that came after it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Jaws 2 to me is more of a goddamn slasher movie than anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you put a hockey mask on the shark and you got Friday the 13th, in Jaws 2. You really do. It's the killer stalking a bunch of kids, and I mean, you could throw screw that. Make it The Burning. It's even got the burn scar and all the kids are on the raft, I mean, it's literally The Burning, I never even thought about that until just now. So, yeah, I'm going to write a paper about that.
I want that treatise in the mail by Friday.
That's right.
No, you're exactly right. Grilled Jaws. I think Jaws undeniably 5-star film. Jaws 2, 3-star at best. It's an average film. It's not bad, but it's not great. Patrick says he says it's great. It's very suspenseful. It's suspenseful, but it's not a masterpiece like Jaws is. If it was released by itself and you had no backstory,
right,
like about the characters or anything, it'd be an average film. Jaws 3 is a huge step down. That's a 2-star film, if I'm being generous.
For Leah Thompson.
You're being generous as far as
you're being generous because you're thinking with a different head. But
well, that was actually her first movie.
I know.
So,
but everybody was so blasted on cocaine while they were making that movie that.
Oh yeah, Dennis Quaid was so
maybe if 16-year-old Jim was blasted on cocaine, he would have enjoyed that piece of shit. Because I certainly did not.
I saw it theatrically in 3D, and it had some of the worst 3D effects I've ever seen. And they sucked in the theater. I don't imagine how they could have thought they were good when they were making it, but whatever. And then Jaws 4 is like a 0.5-star. That movie is shit on a stick. It's disgustingly bad. The premise is ridiculous.
Is there for comic value.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even the mechanical shark in Jaws 4 sucks ass. So,
yeah, I got a question for both of you guys.
All right,
being the amateur, if Jaws came out today, would it be as popular as it is from 1975?
You mean as it is today?
As the movie, as you see the movie Jaws from 1975, you put it out in the market in 2025. Is it a hit?
I think it's a hit. I don't think it's as big of a hit. And that's not because of the movie. That's because of the audience. The audience has changed in 50 years.
That's what I'm going for.
People have a shorter attention span. They don't have the patience.
They have a shorter attention span, and they would just make fun of it because it's not a real shark, because they're so used to CGI everything.
Yep.
Yep. So with all the great takes that Spielberg made to do that movie in 75, if he put it out give it a fresh audience right now, I don't think it would be the major hit that it is, and loved as it is.
I think with still be a hit. I just don't know if it would be the phenomenon that it was 50 years ago.
No,
because think about it, like Sean said at the very beginning, not only was Jaws the original summer blockbuster, it's one of the first, if not the first, blockbusters. Period.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm trying to get. That's what I'm trying to sway it to, because it's like it changed the landmark of how.
But what I'm saying is the audience is different. But the audience is different now, Kenny, because not only that, okay, but the way films are digested now, okay, with streaming and physical media and other things. 50 years ago, if you wanted to see Jaws, you went and bought a ticket and sat your ass in the movie theater.
Right.
You know, and it played for years. I mean, years it played straight, 2-3 years straight. And then they would take it out. And then about 6 months later, they would roll it back out for another month or two. You know, Star Wars, same thing. They did the same thing with Star Wars. So that's the same thing
with Rocky Horror too. That's why I was very curious with you guys, because it's like, would that go out now? Would that be like the phenomenon that it is, like, you know, because it's like when we when we see Star Wars, okay, we see it from when we were kids, you know, we're going back to that experience when we were kids watching it, you know, and we get excited. But kids today, or people today, don't get excited about movies anymore. You know, they'll go, "Oh, I want to watch the new Marvel movie," or you know, like that. Like I am like literally psyched to see Superman. I am like, you know, because I was that little kid in 1978 going to see Superman. So I am like legitimately excited to go see this. But I don't think people today would love that movie, would love Jaws if it came out now, and like known by, I mean, Spielberg did 3 movies. He did Duel and a thing of Columbo, right? He did a Columbo episode, right?
Night Gallery,
right? Okay, Night Gallery.
He did an episode of Night Gallery with Joan Crawford.
Oh, okay. So it's like, and from a young filmmaker, because like right now, if you get a young filmmaker, like remember Jordan Peele was like, you know, the next Hitchcock, you know. So I'm exaggerating for my point, but it's just that I don't think people would gravitate to this, you know, Jaws 75 as much as they did back in 75, because it was something new, you know.
Well, I'm of the firm opinion that quality will always shine through. You know, people would find it, but again, it comes down to the audience and it comes down to the marketplace. Because again, in 75, Hollywood released what, 50 movies, 60 movies a year.
Yeah.
Shit, man, there's 50, 60 movies coming out a month now, between the streaming services and the direct-to-video services and the studios and everything else. So because there's so much more variety out there, nothing's going to be like, I mean, Minecraft or whatever is approaching $1 billion worldwide. Yeah. Okay. I'll never watch that shit.
I'll never watch it.
But I understand why certain segments of the population do. My grandson wanted to see it. He wanted me to take him to see it. I did not. Okay. I'm a bad grandpa. Now, if he wanted to see Jaws, hell yeah, man, I'd sit down there and watch that shit with him. And he actually did watch Jaws. Okay, here's an answer to your question, Kenny.
Okay.
Bryson will be 12 in August. Okay. He sat down and watched Jaws maybe 3 months ago. I had him watch it with me. And at the very beginning, he was a little bit scared. And then he was a little bit bored. But the last 25, 30 minutes of that movie, as soon as the barrels start doing their thing, here's this 12-year-old kid like this. He couldn't take his eyes off the screen. So, yes, I think it still would connect with an audience. It's just that was the perfect movie at the perfect moment in time. Just like Star Wars was, just like The Exorcist was, you know, to a lesser degree, Titanic. Okay. Yeah. It was just the perfect movie at the perfect time and became a phenomenon as opposed to just being big. So
yeah, I was just curious, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Like I said, you asked. That's my opinion.
No, I was just curious because they're so like everybody is so like on because like if you put like a regular movie out now, it'll do like a little bit. but like even like the new Mission Impossible is kind of floundering in theaters. You know,
Well, me and Sean, and I don't mean you, Sean. I mean Cinephile World Order Sean, who was on my show last week. We were talking about this very subject. Okay, that the main thing nowadays is because everything is so IP driven that the studios are really only interested in that first week's grosses. What's going to get people's asses in the seat that first or second week? And then after that, everything is gravy because they can put it on their streamers or their digital medias, or they can sell the foreign rights or whatever. Okay. And how do you get somebody in that theater that first opening weekend? By giving them a title that they recognize. And that's why there's so many movies based on IP. Because, again, the studios are all corporate now. They're all owned by corporations. The people that are making these decisions, whether to greenlight movies, most of them don't have a creative bone in their body. They're looking at what it looks like for the bottom line of their stockholders. Whereas when Jaws was made, it was the exact opposite. Every studio was like embracing young filmmakers like George Lucas, like Spielberg, like Brian De Palma, like Scorsese, and saying, here's a chance, boys. Go out there and see what you can do with it. You know? Sorry, I'm ranting again.
No, you're fine.
No,
I totally agree with your answer. I think it's a hard question to answer, Kenny, because the culture back then was completely different. We were coming out of, like Vietnam and
Watergate.
Nixon and Watergate and all that stuff. So I think with the fact that you had the plot line that you have, which is about a corrupt politician trying to hide something from the people, and you've got a big bad shark lurking around and killing people, which is sort of cathartic for some people, maybe. And you've got people looking for an escape from the Vietnam War. They want to get away from the news. They want to get out of their house and they want to go somewhere and see something completely different. I think whoever posted that the Siskel and Ebert review in the chat. Yeah, they said something about
that was Kenny.
Yeah, I think it was in that. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm getting that and the documentary mixed up. But they said that Spielberg is a suburban filmmaker making movies for suburban people who don't have anything exciting happening to them, so they can go to a movie and see exciting things happen to suburban people. And I think that is sort of what happened. It was sort of like lightning in a bottle kind of way, where you had all of these things coming together. And they had, like you said, Jim, they had to go to the theater to see it. There was no home video. There was no streaming. There was no Blu-ray. There was no watching a movie on your phone. So to get to see it, you had to go sit your butt in the theater. Ebert said in that same clip that he saw Jaws with 1,200 people at once in Chicago.
Yeah.
Can you imagine going to the theater and seeing a movie with 1,200 people? What'd you say, Jim? You cracked up there for a sec. Sorry, you broke up. I didn't hear what you said.
I've been cracked up for years. No, I said that would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen movies with maybe 400, 500 people, but never 1,200. That would be amazing. That'd be like a concert.
Victor has a good one. That's the one I was just going to tell you.
Jaws is essentially the first of the so-called eat the rich satire because of the damn mayor. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that mayor. Oh my God, was he delusional? You can't close that beach.
Yeah, when Brody says they're going to close the beach, and then the mayor goes, "It's only going to be 24 hours," and Brody says, "Well, we didn't agree to that." And you hear the person in the background, 24 hours is like 3 weeks.
I like when they're all scrambling in the boats and Hooper's like, they're all going to die.
Yeah. Greg says movies are too rushed these days. They used to take their time making great films with great stories and characters. Lack of good actors these days too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
100% agree with Greg.
I do and I don't. I think we don't really recognize talent that comes out these days because we don't know who anybody is.
That's true.
Yeah, and I don't want to, say bad things about the people who are coming out now. Are they as talented as the people we grew up with? I can't make that determination because I don't even know who the hell is coming up these days. And
plus they don't have stars. They'll just say, "Oh, well, they have 1 million followers on TikTok." But what the fuck's a TikTok? You know what I mean? For people my age, I have no idea what that is, or the YouTube. When I do I do my blog every day for pop culture with celebrity birthdays. Mm-hmm. They have all these TikTokers and YouTubers before tomorrow. Today was Blondie's birthday. She turned 80. They had 5 different YouTubers and TikTokers that were ahead of her that were in their 20s that I never even heard of before Blondie, who's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yep.
It's just insane.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. We may have aged out of being able to determine who's.
We're officially old now.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fucking influencer is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
They don't influence me.
But I'm not a content creator. I'm a schmuck who makes videos. I mean, so.
Yeah. This is the content we create.
Like I said
we
to my
influencing anybody?
There's 3 things that I watch on the web. I watch food that I usually send to Sean.
Yep.
Movies and wrestling. Those are the 3 things that I look for on there, and it's just I'll go half an hour looking at food things. So I think I've aged out of the demographic for what's cool and what's an influencer and stuff like that. So I have no idea.
I think the moment that I stopped recognizing who was on the Grammys and who half the people were on the American Music Awards, that's when I knew I wasn't.
Froze again?
I can hear you. You're not moving, but I can hear you.
We back again.
There you go.
Yeah. We good now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time a goddamn car or somebody goes by my house, I lose my internet. I'm about ready to go inside the house. It's starting to piss me off. Normally I got the damn garage door closed, so it's not an issue.
Oh,
but
okay.
It's 90 degrees, so it's I'm trying to, But yeah, sorry about that, guys.
That's all right. Victor says, speaking as a 20-something, you 3 are not missing all that much. Well, we're glad you're here listening to us old farts.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
We're like the Simpsons meme. Old man yells at cloud.
Yeah. They're stealing your Wi-Fi, Jim.
Yeah. Sons of bitches. Yeah, watch me chase some 11-year-old down the street. Come back here, you little fuck.
One other thing that Jaws did really well, getting back to Jaws, is merchandising. I don't know if you remember, Jim, when after Jaws came out, it was the first time I ever saw they sold T-shirts with Jaws on it, and
Jaws bubblegum cards, Jaws everything, Jaws the game, where you had the little fishing hook, did this shit with his little shark,
Yeah, it
there
had
was
the
a
Jaws
parody song called Mr. Jaws.
Yep.
Do you remember that?
Yep, I do. Come on, Kenny.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I was I remember the shirts when we would go down the shore, especially Atlantic City or something like that. Jaws is not in Atlantic City, and it would have the big shark on the front of it and have DC on the front of it.
That was sort of the easy ticket for a lot of people because you could slap a shark on anything in the summer of '75 because sharks are, not copyrightable really. And you could make it Jaws merchandise because Jaws, the word isn't copyrightable either.
Wow.
I took a bite out of Cape Hatteras,
Yep.
North Carolina, and it's suddenly a Jaws thing. So I remember my mom getting me those bubblegum type machines with the big plastic capsules. You put a couple quarters in, probably a quarter back then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you turn it and it would come out and it would be an iron-on transfer that you could put on your t-shirt. And that was like the beginning of iron-on transfers. And she got me one. And I don't know what it was. Either she didn't do it right or it was just so cheap and shitty that it didn't work right. But it looked like Jaws was surfacing in fireworks because it was all...
Yeah, well, if you look at those early 70s t-shirts, because I remember I got a Star Wars one for my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a Farrah Fawcett one with the poster on it. And then, like, you're right. It would, like, if Mom didn't iron it on, like, correctly in the center, it would start to peel.
Yeah.
So, it was, like, halfway, like, during the summer, it started to peel,
Yeah, once you washed it too many times, it would start to peel.
Yep.
Even if it was done correctly, it would start to come off.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this was weird. It looked like it looked like the ink was bleeding into the shirt, but it looked like fireworks above its head, and it looked like a shark coming out of the water into fireworks. It looked terrible. She wouldn't let me wear it because it looked so bad.
Yeah, I had a Rush shirt that decal, and it started to peel, and it was Push. And people were like, "Oh, so you're a supporter of Jesse Jackson, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Operation Push. There you go."
Victor says, I wouldn't be surprised if they sold a Jaws plushie. Oh, they sold all sorts of stuff,
did.
sharks.
They did.
But they didn't call them Jaws.
Everything.
Yep. Yeah, I remember going to, we used to go to Cape Hatteras, North Carolina for the summer in like 76, 77. And I think we went to Ocean City, Maryland, I think. Maybe the summer of 75. And there was all sorts of Jaws shit everywhere, all over the place. This is before Star Wars hit, because once Star Wars hit, then Jaws sort of kind of went by the wayside. But oh my God, there was stuff everywhere. But the one thing that I got, and being sort of an animal person now, I really regret that I bought it. My dad got me in a jar a little baby shark. In like formaldehyde or something.
Yeah.
It was like a baby shark. I'm like, oh God.
Because I remember they used to sell the shark teeth.
Yep.
But
shark
tooth
they sold
in a jar.
Yeah, they'd sell the shark tooth in a jar. They'd sell the entire jaws of a shark.
Yeah.
You could get shark teeth necklaces.
For the necklace, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a
Save the whales, club the seals. Yep.
Yeah, they had dead baby sharks in jars. They had octopuses in jars. Just all sorts of nasty shit that you would not see now. At least not.
The 70s were a fun time, man.
Yeah, the 70s were fucked up.
People bitch about the 80s, but the 70s were worse, man.
Yeah, the 70s were screwed up.
Did you have a mood ring?
What's that?
I said, did you have a mood ring?
I did.
Remember those damn things?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had a pet rock.
Colors too. And shit. Yeah. Good time.
Oh, those were the days. All right, Jim. Let's talk about some Jaws ripoffs.
Well, like you said at the beginning of this little thing, Jaws was definitely it changed everything as far as how movies were released, and mainly because up until then there were no summer blockbusters. All summer movies were basically children movies or drive-in fare stuff that because back in the day people didn't go to the movies during the summer that much. They would go on vacation with their families or whatever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But Jaws changed that. And one of the big things before Star Wars hit, and after Star Wars hit for that matter, were Jaws ripoffs. And, some are obvious, like, the sequels and stuff. We won't go into those. But these are, I'm not going to go into plots or anything, but what I constitute as a Jaws ripoff, okay, are a couple of criteria. First and foremost, it has to be some force stalking somebody, okay, and not a killer. Can't be a person, okay? It could be, more often than not, it's an animal of some kind, okay? And the first one that I remember seeing, okay, I saw this before I saw Jaws, actually. And this is beat for beat Jaws, is Grizzly.
Yep.
That came out a year after Jaws, 1976. It is Jaws with claws. It is Jaws in a forest.
Jaws
Seriously.
with claws. It's a good movie.
Then the following year, that was the blurb on the poster, dude.
Yeah.
Jaws with claws. Okay.
Jaws with claws.
The following year, we got my second favorite Jaws ripoff of all time with a movie that I've talked about before, Orca. And again, literally, it's Jaws, but instead of a shark, it's a great white or killer whale. Okay, so it's Jaws mixed with Moby Dick. Okay, and again, it's glorious. It's great. 79, we had many more than two, but two that I own and two that I love. Okay, again, Piranha.
Yes.
From Joe Dante. This is my Scream Factory steelbook.
Nice. Love that movie.
And absolutely love Piranha. Okay, this is the best of those drive-in type movies as far as drive-in Jaws ripoffs. Okay, and there's one at the end of this episode that's going to be my recommendation of the week that definitely fits that category. This one is just batshit crazy. Okay, but from the same year, 1979. Prophecy. This one is with Talia Shire, and it's got a mutant bear. And the funniest thing in this is Armand Asante trying to play an American Indian. It's hilarious. But saw this at the drive-in, thought it was terrifying. Saw this on cable 2 years later and thought it was the dumbest thing I ever saw in my life. Then got the Blu-ray, watched it again, and went, "Oh my God, this movie sucks, but I love it." So there you go. This one I saw theatrically. And this one is a blatant ripoff again from 1980. Alex.
That's a good movie.
Yep.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Are we froze up again, boys?
You did for a little bit, but you're back.
Alligator's awesome.
Greg was waiting for that.
We've got an Australian. Okay. We've got an Australian Jaws ripoff from 1984. Razorback.
Oh.
The giant killer pig movie.
Never seen that one.
Again. This is Jaws in the Outback. And instead of a shark, you got a gigantic wild boar. Okay? I mean, literally. We talked about it earlier from the 90s. Deep Blue Sea. Okay? With Samuel Jackson. But you can also, to a lesser degree, talk about snakes on a plane. Because in a way, that is Jaws mixed with Die Hard. It really is. Okay? This one is one of my all-time favorites. And again, this one we're kind of pushing the limits. But The Gray.
Yeah.
That's a good
Liam
movie.
Neeson and Frank Grillo and the Wolves. And the reason why I'm including this one, other than the obvious of it being an animal attack movie, is because, like Jaws, you don't know when this damn thing is going to attack. And when they do, it comes out of nowhere, and it's quick, and it's loud, and it's whoa. And love.
Very suspenseful.
The last one I'm going to mention, and this is one is about, 5 years old or so. And I really like this movie. From Alexandre Aja, Crawl.
Yeah.
That is good.
This is a really fun movie. And again,
That's
you can say it's a Jaws ripoff because of the animal attack thing. It's kind of a loose Jaws ripoff. But again, a lot of fun. So, But there is one that I am going to say for my recommendation of the week that is definitely a Jaws ripoff, but it does not involve an animal. And we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
So
you have us intrigued.
Yeah, I hope so. So that's my little thing about Jaws ripoffs. But again, they as you can see, I mean, the first one was a year after Jaws was released. Crawl came out 5 years ago. So literally for 45 years, they're still ripping off and trying to replicate that formula from Jaws, and it often imitated, never exceeded. You know,
it works.
Mean, it just. You guys shared, I think it was Sean that shared the article today of some asshole that wrote 10 movies that were animal ripoffs or whatever, Jaws ripoffs, that he said that were as good, if not better, than the original.
Yeah.
And I read that thing, and there was 10 movies on that list. And out of those 10 movies, I enjoy just about all of them. None of them could hold Jaws' jockstrap. The only one that even would come close would be The Birds on that list. You know, because that's Hitchcock. Everything else on that movie, some of those movies were even on my list. You know, and I'm sorry, none of those movies will come close to even getting near Jaws in quality. But that's why they're ripoffs.
Yeah. I'll mention a few that I've seen. These are straight up shark ripoffs. They're not just, you know, animal attack movies. These are straight up shark movies. I have on my website, I have a category for shark flicks, killer shark movies that I've reviewed over the course of the last however long I've been reviewing movies. Some of them good, some of them bad. Under Paris from 2024 was on Netflix. Sharks in the whatever the river was that they did the Olympics in last year. I can't remember the name of the river.
Spain?
No, it was in Paris, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Under Paris. It's not
okay.
Spain. The Seine River. Seine River. That's what it was.
River that was polluted. Yeah.
Yeah, the river that was polluted. Well, there's a shark in that. There's a whole bunch of sharks in that. Another one with a great title, stupid movie, Raiders of the Lost Shark. Terrible. Deep Blood from 1990, which was made by Joe D'Amato, which is awful. Trailer Park Shark.
I've seen that one. That's with Tara Reid, right?
Yeah. Yes. That was from Sci-Fi.
Wait. Back up.
Yep.
You've seen fucking Jaws only twice in your life, but yet you know Tara Reid is a Trailer Park Shark. Are you kidding me, Kenny?
It's one of those big asylum, like it's not an asylum, but it's like one of those bad.
It's a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi movie.
Yeah. It's part of what they call sharksploitation movies.
Shark.
From 2021, there was a movie called Great White that it's a little more realistic. It's about two people. It's about two people that are trapped in. Well, it's actually I think there are four people in a raft, but it gets down to two people that are trapped in a raft when their plane crashes and they're being menaced by a shark. It's not terrible. One of the first ones was Mako, the Jaws of Death from 1976 with Richard Jackal. And he stars as a Vietnam vet who can telepathically control sharks. There are some people who think that may have been one of the first Jaws ripoffs.
I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but I'm freezing up again. I'm taking this show in the road, so I'll be back on in a second.
Okay.
There's Dark Tide with Halle Berry from 2012.
I did see that one.
Yeah, that was not terrible, but
no, it wasn't bad.
It's not the greatest movie ever. I think we were talking about this one, Santa Jaws from 2018. Yeah. I like that movie. It's another sci-fi movie, but it's you know, it is what it is. The 47 Meters Down films.
I like both of them.
Yeah, those aren't bad.
No, Andy Moore's in the first one.
Yeah, it was called something else when it was released, and I can't remember because it actually came out under a different name, and I can't.
That was almost my recommendation for tonight.
Oh, really?
But I changed it because I figured people would watch that one when it came, you know. But I enjoyed that one. Actually, I think I got that from Mr. Alf. That's my dealer.
Oh yeah, mine too. Another sci-fi one is Frenzy from 2018, which is another sort of.
Yeah, I've seen that. Like, I think it's been like, I think that was out in the Dollar Tree, like on our halls.
Yep.
But I never picked it up because I didn't know what it was.
Yep. The Asylum, Megalodon. I think they just came out with a sequel.
Yes, they have two Megalodon movies. They have one with Michael. I think Michael Madsen's in two of them, and then the third one is Tom Sizemore.
Oh, there's a third one?
Yeah, there's a third one.
I've only seen the first. Oh, I've seen the first one. I knew there was a second one. I didn't know there was a third one.
Yeah, those are good. Those are actually pretty good movies. Patrick says Frenzy was dog poo, Sean.
Yeah, it was. It's terrible. And then another one with Lou Diamond Phillips, Red Water.
That was a good one.
With Christy Swanson.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. Coolio's in it. You can't go wrong with Coolio.
You can't go wrong with Coolio.
Sean said you guys should watch Cruel Jaws if you're looking for a non-serious guilty pleasure, stupid fun for what it is. Yeah, Cruel Jaws is hilarious because it was released in some places as Jaws 5. And it steals footage from Jaws. It steals footage from a movie called The Last Shark, which came out in 1981 in the States as Great White. And then Universal sued and had it pulled out of theaters.
Yeah, Cruel Jaws is on Tubi, guys, if you want to watch that.
Sorry, I'm rearranging shit here.
Oh, you're fine. Did I
Hey,
add you too early?
That's a stronger signal you got right now.
Yeah, you're coming in crystally clear.
Yeah, I just got to rearrange some shit here in my grandson room.
All right. Do you want me to knock you off the camera for a while?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, awesome. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, you're fine. We were just talking about Cruel Jaws, which Sean brought up in the chat, which literally steals footage from Jaws. It steals footage from The Last Shark, also known as Great White, and it steals from another one. I think Deep Blood. I can't remember. It steals from a bunch of other shark movies. And then it has a guy that looks like Hulk Hogan in it.
Yeah, I saw that movie once, but to be honest, I was really drunk at the time, so I don't remember it at all.
Which one has Vic Morrow? That is The Last Shark, also known as Great White, doing his worst Quint imitation.
Don't lose your head. Oh.
Too soon.
It's only been 42 years?
Yeah. I actually got to see Great White theatrically. I was just talking about that. My dad and I went to see it before Universal had it pulled out of theaters because they sued because it was too close to being Jaws. It's literally the same plot as Jaws. Patrick says it steals from Doll Shark. Really? Okay. I don't know when the whole Doll Shark came out.
Wow. What cinematic universe was that from?
I saw you mentioned it in the chat earlier.
Oh my God, it's on Tubi too.
Doll Shark? When did that come out?
2022.
Oh, then
a seemingly harmless plush toy is inhabited by an evil spirit of a killer shark. Guess what Kenny's watching tonight?
Wow. My brain is hurting just thinking about that. I mean, oh my God.
How about Megalodon versus Bigfoot?
See that? Look. No. You have to pop that up, Sean, on IMDb. You have to look at the picture.
Okay.
Of it. I'm telling you, it's so bad.
Okay, now you got me intrigued. So
I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, let him dial it up. Oh my God, it's hysterical. The clown in that is like, Miles' mom hired a clown. You got.
What the fuck?
Exactly. Am I wrong?
There's the Doll Shark. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Oh, okay, you can see it better. But
wait. Let me see if I can get this guy up here.
Yeah, that's the box. But the clown, there you go. That's the guy right there. Oh my God, that's awful. There he is.
Warren Bean Fulton is Kitty Clown.
Greg said it's bad, Kenny. I wouldn't even make it 15 minutes in the Doll Shark. LOL.
Wow.
How could you miss with this guy?
Yeah. Patrick, do you have a side job?
Yeah. Like
There's a 3-hour version of Dick Shark if anyone's interested in.
You'd have to pay me a shitload of money to have to watch that. I'm sorry, man. I can't.
Mr. Dan, is that the softcore porn one with that girl Aaron Brown? I might have stumbled upon that.
Oh my God.
3-hour version? Are you kidding me?
2 girls and a shark.
When I was at Texas Frightmare Weekend, the guys that made Dick Shark were they had a table there, and they were selling that and all their other cinematic wonders at the table.
They
and
actually take credit for that movie?
Oh yeah, they
Wow.
were selling copies of it.
They
I
get
was
the
not interested.
skankiest looking girls in those movies too, except for Aaron Brown.
Want a date?
Well, the girl from Frankenhooker was actually pretty.
No, I'm saying they found some hookers. Want a date?
Oh,
No,
seriously.
the movie though.
Here you go. Here I'm gonna risk this, but here you go.
I don't see or hear. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
there you
God.
It's Dick Shark. All right. That's enough of that.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime.
That's what it looks like, doesn't it? That's precisely what it looks like. Oh my God.
Thanks, Mr. Dan, for introducing everybody
Thanks,
to
Dan.
Dick Shark.
Now everybody will be going on and trying to find that tonight to watch.
And they were canceled on episode 25.
On our year anniversary.
The 1 year anniversary of their show was also the last show they ever put up. Yeah, the guy that puts that out is Bill Zabub.
Oh, great.
Bill
I got nothing.
No, we'll just leave it there. Talk amongst yourselves.
I got nothing.
Look, I'm chumming. That's fantastic. Just doing my part.
Yeah, thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan. And that was the end of the show. Well, it's been real, guys. Yeah, I wanted to show. We were talking about the Jaws ripoffs. There's a book. I think it's still available. It's called Jaws Unmade: The Lost Sequels, Prequels, Remakes, and Ripoffs. You can get this on Amazon. I'm still reading through it. You can see my lovely bookmarker. But it talks about. It says it was nearly 50 years ago now that Jaws swam into cinemas and shocked moviegoers, but in its wake, it left numerous sequels and ripoffs like Orca, Jaws 2, Piranha, The Last Shark, Jaws 3D, Monster Shark, and Jaws 4, The Revenge, to name only a handful. But you knew about those already, didn't you? But what about the sequels and ripoffs that never surfaced to terrify audiences? Movies like Burt I. Gordon's Devilfish, Dino De Laurentiis's Orca Part 2, and John Sayles' Sea Dragon of Loch Ness. Ever hear about those?
Nope.
What about the spoof Jaws 3 People Zero? We were talking about that earlier.
Yep, I read part of that script.
Yeah, it eventually became Jaws 3D. And did you know Jaws 2 began shooting with a different cast, director, and a darker version of the script before it was retooled by studio executives? And lastly, were there ever any real plans for a Jaws 5? From the author of Kong Unmade, The Lost Films of Skull Island, take a deep dive into the murky history of the Jaws sequels, prequels, remakes, and ripoffs that never saw the light of day in Jaws Unmade. So there's that book. And then
That is available on Amazon still.
is
Sean.
it still available?
Yeah.
And then there's this book.
Nice.
Yeah, I want that one. That one looks really cool.
This one is awesome.
Yeah.
There's, like I was showing before, there is stuff in here.
What's the book called, Sean?
Jaws Memories. Jaws Memories from Martha's Vineyard. By Matt Taylor.
Nice.
Got it. Yes, it's still available on Amazon.
Okay. Cool.
I was just like looking it up for the people for their information.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Those I both highly recommend, especially the Jaws Memories from Martha's Vineyard. That one, if you're even remotely interested in Jaws and the behind the scenes of it, I highly recommend that. It's got all sorts of stuff. One thing I will say about that movie is, or about that book is, if you remember, what was the other book called?
Texas Jaws Unmade.
Jaws Unmade. The girl that's yelling shark about the shark going into the pond in Jaws, you might think, oh, she's just an actress. I think she actually was somebody that a lot of the crew stayed with in her house when they were making the movie. So they threw her a bone and they gave her a little part in the movie too. but they used her house for a lot of the rewrites and stuff.
Nice.
So just little stuff like that.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay, Ken.
What was was there any blowback from the community on the movie after
No.
it came out? No.
No.
Okay, I just meant the film community after it came out.
No.
Film community?
Yeah, like other directors that basically were like that like didn't have how can I say?
There was a certain amount of jealousy
Yeah,
directed towards Spielberg, because he was, like Sean said, he was in his 20s when he did Jaws, and it became the biggest movie of all time at that point. So there was definitely some jealousy towards Spielberg for, I'd say, the first 10, 15 years of his career. I mean, look at Color Purple. That was nominated for every Oscar there was, and it didn't win a single one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of that had to do with bias towards Spielberg. He was considered the blockbuster kid, not the real auteur, you know.
Yeah.
Now it's become obvious that he can do either. He
Yeah.
can keep one foot in one camp and the other in the other, and work both ways equally as well, you know.
Yeah.
So,
And keep in mind, he was friends with, at the time, Martin Scorsese, George Lucas,
De Palma.
John
I was
Milius.
just gonna bring that up because they were like weren't they like all film school nerds?
Yeah.
they were
Coppola.
all
Yeah.
buddies from Berkeley,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they'd all come visit him on the set. Actually, in that documentary that I just watched, George Lucas came to where they were making the Mechanical Sharks, and he saw them. They weren't even done yet, and he's like, "This is going to be the most successful movie ever made."
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And
You know the
Spielberg
deal.
goes, "Well, from your mouth to God's ears," because I don't know that that's the case, because he was so nervous.
I mean, you
about
know
it.
about the deal with those two with Star Wars and Close Encounters, right? Basically,
No.
both of them were convinced that their movie was going to be a flop and the other guy's movie was going to be a hit. So they made like a gentleman's agreement, and they worked out a 5% gross for each other for those movies. And they both came out well.
Oh,
But
wow.
Spielberg got a shitload of money from Star Wars. And George Lucas has been good-naturedly kind of fucking with him ever since, saying, "Yeah,
That's
Steve,
hilarious.
we had to work out that deal again." You know, I mean, yeah. But yeah, the two of them have been buddies forever. But yeah, they actually made that gentleman's agreement. And I mean, Spielberg even posted like a picture of the written note from back in the day, like a couple of years ago. You know,
wow.
just to fuck with Lucas some more, you know. And
Wow.
because I think it was when Star Wars came back out for a limited re-release, and it,
97.
yeah, bigger than shit. He posted a picture of that shit online saying, "Thanks, George, for the memories."
Yeah, I remember. Didn't they have in one of the varieties? I think maybe Hollywood Reporter that when Star Wars overtook Jaws, they had like a cartoon caption or something like that. I remember seeing that.
Yep.
And that made all the trade publications.
Yeah, that's the ad I've seen. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's
that.
hilarious.
Yeah. That's
funny. Patrick just said there's a documentary called Saving Jaws, which is about saving the mechanical shark. Is that about Greg Nicotero? And because I just saw they restored one of the last mechanical sharks they found it in a junkyard, and they restored it and they put it in the Academy Award Museum, or the Academy Museum, because there's a big Jaws display there now that's going till September, I think. And I wanted to go out and see it, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Saving Jaws is on Tubi. It's 58 minutes.
Okay.
Nice.
When was that made, Kenny?
2019.
Okay. That might be it.
Ocean Ramsey attributes her unparalleled connection to sharks with over a decade of research, but many are convinced that something is different. And it's basically a documentary on...
Don't think that's the same movie.
You know, that's the other thing that we haven't really touched on as far as like the effect of Jaws. There would be no Shark Week without Jaws. And Shark Week is like always, every year, it's like the most successful TV viewing every year, you know, for whatever channel, you know, Discovery Channel or whatever the hell it is. Yeah. I used to watch Shark Week all the time, every year, you know, it was just,
yeah.
Jaws
personally, Jaws has had like an effect on me. I've been a huge fan of sharks ever since I saw Jaws. And like I was, even before Jaws, I would be one of those kids that would be sitting in front of the TV watching Jacques Cousteau documentaries and, Wild Kingdom and all that stuff. I was always watching animal stuff, but I was fascinated with sharks even before Jaws.
Mhm.
Jaws just sort of, kind of solidified my love of sharks. But it also had the negative connotation, or not connotation, but the negative effect of people thinking it was okay to go out and slaughter sharks.
Yeah.
And that is just horrible. And Peter Benchley even thought that, that was the one thing he wishes he could take back from the effect of Jaws is, how it led to the demise of like 80% of the population of the great white shark in some instances, I think in the Atlantic Ocean. Now, people are starting to realize that sharks are important to the ecosystem and there's protections and whatnot. Hey, Sydney.
And sharks are getting even too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. Every time I hear about somebody who gets attacked by a shark,
yeah,
I don't want anybody to get hurt. I don't want anybody to die, but I never feel sorry for these people because it's like, you
No.
know what? You're in their house doing
Right.
your thing, So how would you feel if somebody came into your house, started fucking with you? You'd probably attack them too,
Right.
So.
Right. And sharks, sharks do what they do because that's how they feed. They test things with their mouth.
Yeah.
And if they don't like what they have bitten, they swim away. Unfortunately, for a human, that means that you're bleeding a lot and not feeling so well. It's not a shark attack. It's to the shark. It's a shark bite. Oh, you're not a food item. I'm going to go away. That's not what the shark's thinking.
Your name's Alex? Yes, please.
Yes. Yeah. Unless your name is Alex Kittner or Chrissy or I think sharks attack people who piss in the ocean.
There you go.
If only that were the case. Yeah. So I did a shark series on my channel a couple of years ago where I broke down shark flicks. It was a 3-part series. I did the Jaws movies and shark movies or Jaws ripoffs and then other shark movies. And I put a thing at the beginning where, it's all kind of a disclaimer, it's all fun and games about, sharks and killing sharks in movies and blah, blah, blah. But, sharks are essential to the oceans and they should be protected. And I feel very strongly about that. One of the things that I wanted to do, and I tried to do this for the longest time, is go to Guadalupe Island off the coast of Baja California and actually dive with the great white sharks in a cage. And I had the trip booked 3 times and it got canceled 3 times. And my wife was like, I think somebody's trying to tell you something. You should go. But it got canceled for COVID. It got canceled because a rogue wave hit the ship the night before it pulled into harbor.
If that ain't a sign from God, I don't know what it is.
And then the 3rd time it was canceled because Mexico closed the island, and the island is still closed today to diving ships because some of the charter boats would go out there and just be complete dicks. One boat wrecked on the rocks and spilled oil. One shark was killed because it got stuck in a cage. So Mexico said, screw it, we're closing the island.
You know what? Good for Mexico.
Yeah. So I never got to go, but it did buy me a big giant 4K TV when I got my money back.
Well, there is that.
Sydney says, Jaws, the movie will forever haunt me. Damn it, Steven Spielberg is responsible for creating all of this. He knew how to scare the audience and it worked perfection. Awesome movie. Love it. Yep. That's another thing that Siskel and Ebert were saying, that he liked, like Hitchcock, how to manipulate an audience going from a laugh to a scream, especially that chumming scene with Brody. When he's chumming, he's like, come on down and shovel some of this shit.
Yep. My favorite moment in the movie. Favorite moment in the movie. Just the way he stands up and then we're going to need a bigger boat, Yep. It's just so good.
Yep. Fantastic. All right. Anything we didn't cover on Jaws that we should or should not cover?
Well, there is one other ripoff that I forgot to mention, and it's probably the greatest one of all. From 1986, Foam.
What?
What?
The dolphin with rabies in Nantucket Island that ate bobcat Goldthwait. Come on, One Crazy Summer, man.
Oh.
Dude, I swear to fuck, I'm looking up foam. I swear. I'm sitting here and I'm like, foam? I've never heard of it. And when you said 86, that was like my prime, like, renting and going to the movies. I'm like, what the fuck's he talking about? Foam.
I made that joke on I think Gareth's stream a couple of days ago, and he didn't get it either. He was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, and then I'm like, One Crazy Summer, and somebody in the audience got it as I was typing in One Crazy Summer.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, chat, you slept on that humorous pun by Jim.
Yep. The dolphin with rabies that terrorizes
I'm
Nantucket
literally
Island.
sitting looking for foam on my phone. Moron.
That's the flavor I bring to this show.
That's right.
Fucking with Kenny. This week on Fucking with Kenny.
Because I'm trying to be helpful, going, oh, well, this is on blah, 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 like that. It's like, I'm like looking it up. And it was like,
Every show. That was Kenny, that's not on Tubi.
Yeah, Karen Reed's not in foam.
Well, I like. See, I think it's helpful because that way, if people want to see it, they can stream it.
No,
it's very helpful, dude.
It's very helpful.
Yeah.
No, like I said, because you brought up One Crazy Summer a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, I love that movie.
That's why I was gonna fuck with you, because I figured you would get it. I didn't think Sean would get it, but I thought you might. You know, but yeah. Foam, that
totally went over my head.
The shark with, or the dolphin with rabies movie that they're filming in Nantucket Island.
Yeah, Mr. Dan said sounds like a movie Bobcat would make. Yeah.
That's a perfect segue into the the 1 year anniversary of the show.
Yeah.
Yams are one of the trademark inside jokes of the show.
Absolutely.
We've got that. We've got Texas to thank for that. What else do we have? We have the Dirty Dancing stuff, which hasn't come up recently.
Yeah.
Patrick, you've been sleeping on that.
No, he hasn't.
No, he did put earlier in the show. He did put a Dirty Dancing
did he?
comment up on that. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull it up.
I missed it.
It was like nobody puts.
Nobody puts. I did see that.
Yeah.
Nobody freezes Jim in the corner.
Nice.
Yeah, I did see that. Okay, so we did get that today. This is the 1 year anniversary for the show. And it started with just me and Kenny. It was originally Talking Movies with Sean and Kenny.
Yep.
And then I think it was August of last year, we had Jim on. I don't remember what even, Jim, you probably remember better than I do what we had you on as a guest for.
It was just as a guest. I was your first guest because you guys, I think it was your third episode or fourth episode.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about cult classics and stuff along those lines, and I was just typing like crazy in the chat.
Okay.
And you guys were both like, Jesus, thank you, Jim. Jesus, thank you, Jim. Hey, Jim, you want to come on here? And I was like, by all means, sure, and that's how it started.
Yeah, and then of course
you invited me on as a guest, and then I came back about a month later to do the comedy special with you guys.
Yep.
Where it was the top 10 comedies, and then the next show is when you invited me to become a co-host. So that would have been in September at that point.
Yeah, you joined the show in September.
Yeah.
Patrick is taking credit for it. He goes, then I told you guys to add Jim, and that is true.
That is true.
And I will also give Patrick credit for bringing us together in the first place.
Yep.
Because you guys were a guest on his show, promoting this show that I happened to catch because I was subscribed to Patrick, and I jumped on to check out that first episode when you guys were plugging it, and that's how the whole thing started.
That's awesome.
So thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick. Yeah, we definitely deserve the credit for bringing us together. So we do appreciate that, and thank you very much. And Instagram's not the same without you, man.
Yeah, no shit.
I connect talented people. Well, I don't know how you got me involved in anything, but
Me either.
That's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, Kenny and I started. I was gonna. I thought about this. I had all these ideas for tonight. Like I wanted to create, like, show some highlights and things from past shows, and I was like, kind of ridiculous to pat ourselves on the back like that, because we don't we don't like, currently we have 12 viewers right now.
Yeah.
So it's not like somebody's looking for a documentary style retrospective on
How it
the
all
show.
started.
How it all started, yeah. But
it was the best times of my life.
but I thought about punking everybody by playing the intro to the very first show as our opening, and have just me and Kenny coming on. And it just being the two of us talking. Yeah. No.
Send him packing.
No, it would just be me and Kenny. The beginning of the first show.
Oh, gotcha.
We would just start the first show all over again, because when we first started, when I first started the idea of the show, I wanted to do like segments, like we were going to have movie news like for the first 15 minutes, and then we'd talk about a topic for like a half an hour, and then we'd do something else for a half an hour, and then we do our movie recommendations, and then we'd be done. It would be a really tightly formatted show rather than having one topic for 2 hours. But then it just became what it is today, which is just us sort of free-forming for 2 hours, at least sort of on topic for 2 hours, and sort of going off on tangents and whatever.
I brought anarchy to the mix. Woo-hoo!
That's right. Because Kenny and I were on a previous show that had, sometimes it would have no topic at all, and it had no set limit. And sometimes the show, what the hell is that?
Mr. Baseball.
No, I'm doing my imitation of the show.
Oh, yeah.
We'd be talking about something. He goes,
the other guy just does that.
I picked this one up today.
Yeah.
Or he would leave. Or I swear to God, he would just like walk away.
Yeah, I'm not bad mouthing the guy, because I learned a lot from.
No, I really like the guy a lot.
Yeah, no, it was just, there was no format to the show, but there would be no topic, and then we'd have sometimes 6 people on at the same time, and it would just be, you couldn't understand one person, and I was like, you can't do a show like this. And I was like, okay, I don't want to diss the guy, but I don't want to be on the show if I can't plan my evening, because like my wife would be, when are you going to get off the show? Because it's going into 4 hours.
Yeah,
the show has been on for 4 hours.
Goes, I got to get up for work tomorrow. I'm like, dude, just, excuse yourself. I said, and I think I said to one of them, I don't think he'll notice, because he would just, I swear, we would be taught. I think Mike was on one night with us. It was Mike, me, Sean, I think the girl that was on, Lauren. Yeah, thank you. And our buddy, he would just get up and walk away, and Lauren goes, "Okay, I gotta excuse myself," and then he would just like go. And then, like, me and Sean would be talking back and forth, and I get a text from Sean, go, "This is hour 4. I gotta work tomorrow." And I'm like, "Well, please don't leave. Please don't leave until he comes back.
Please don't leave me."
Because it's just me and Mike's internet was, I think, cutting out because he had a bad storm in Kentucky. So it was like his store, like the storm was cutting out, and I was just like that. And the next day, Sean goes, "How long did you go for?" I'm like, "We went another hour strong."
Yeah, it was 5 hours.
It was a 5-hour stream.
Yeah, fuck that, man.
Nobody's gonna watch that
from
beginning to end. Nobody, and then I get off, and my wife is like, nobody is gonna watch that, right? Nobody is gonna subject themselves to that. I'm like, I know, but I can't just drop off and be rude, but And
yeah,
so
he hung in for me, man, because I'll never forget that. Lauren just waved. Poor Mike's internet was cutting in and out that night. I felt bad for him because we would do a mic check and we're like, good. And then the internet would go out and then his mic would go off. So it was just basically me and Sean talking. And all you see in the top is the picture of an empty chair and just like a light. There's nobody sitting in that chair. And I'm like, oh shit, what are we going to talk about? You like pizza? You know?
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. There was no topic, so we couldn't even stay on topic because there wasn't any. So yeah, like Patrick says, 90 to 120 minutes is the best time frame. You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna hit everything you need to hit, and if you don't, then it wasn't that important anyway. So whatever. But I don't want to badmouth the guy.
No, I love the guy. I think he's a great guy, and hopefully he's doing well. I reach out to him occasionally and text him. But you know what? If we didn't do that show, all three of us would have never have met, and we wouldn't have met Dan or Mike. You know, there's like so many, so you can't badmouth them. But I would just because I would text him the next day. I'm like, dude, you can't leave me by myself. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then all of a sudden he would get up and go, all right, guys, I think we better leave.
That'd be it, huh?
I swear. Because, he would have something to do or something the next day. And he'd go, all right, guys, it's approaching the 5th hour. I think, I think we better go. And I'm like, all right, dude, whatever you want.
I was on a couple of shows where he would just be like, well, that's the end of the show.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Anyway, but this is more about us than that. But I do want to tip my hat to him. I said, I want to badmouth him, but because like Kenny said, if it wasn't for that show, we wouldn't be here. I learned a lot from him about StreamYard and doing shows and promoting shows and all that kind of stuff. So I learned that part of it. Not running the show, I learned what not to do.
Yeah, but he knew everything. Like he was really technical about everything. I mean, he was really a brain about doing stuff like that. But wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Just wow.
But so I told him, and I felt bad. I was going to start my own show, and he got pissed at me. So
oh well.
I said, I'm not trying to compete with your show. I just want to run a tightly formatted show on a Tuesday, because on Tuesday nights I usually don't have anything going on. Because I work full time and my wife works full time, and we've got shit going on, and it's usually, the one night a week I don't have anything going on, and I can sit down for 2 hours and bullshit, and nobody's going to interrupt me, and I don't have to worry about anything. And he's like, "Yeah, you're a hypocrite." I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right, whatever." So that's fine. I just want to do a tightly formatted show. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
And then you invited me, and I brought anarchy.
Yes, and then we invited Jim. But yeah, no, Jim coming on the show, I think, made it much more dynamic. I mean, no offense, Kenny, but the two of us, for a while we were just sort of like the two old men yelling at a cloud.
Yeah.
Jim has a wealth of knowledge about movies that just blows my mind away every single show. And he remembers things that I'm like, holy shit, how do you remember all this stuff? So that
I have no life.
I told you I was literally sold when the drive-in series. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I never laughed so hard watching them, because it's
I'm going to do some more of those actually.
Yeah, you if you guys go to Jim's channel and watch those drive-in memory ones, because it's, and I even told Jim, I said, go long, keep telling the stories, and I just thought they were fantastic.
Yeah.
I think the reason why this show works so well, not to toot our own horns here or whatever, but I think the reason why it works so well is because it's evident the three of us like each other.
Yeah.
We get along. We fuck with each other. I mean, you know, I pick on Kenny and stuff, but it's all in good fun. It's all with love, you know. And
absolutely,
when you got three guys that basically, or three people, I should say, that basically have a shared love for something, in this case, movies. It's not about what edition we have. It's about the movie, and we're passionate about that. And I think that's what carries over from our show. And all the feedback that I've gotten, you know, for the last year from people, you know, not necessarily in the comments, but just from people that I've talked to on my channel or whatever. Whenever our show comes up, the first thing they say is, you know what? I have fun watching you guys because it's like sitting in a room with my buddies and just bullshitting, you know? And that's what I love about this show. Every 2 weeks, I get to spend time with my two buddies.
Yep. Same here.
Same here. That's why I sort of feel bad. No offense to everybody in the chat, but sometimes I feel distracted by the chat because I have to pay attention to what's going on in there. But the chat is a big addition to the show. I love hearing from everybody, and I feel bad when I can't pay attention to it. So that's why I'm gonna start having you guys kind of watch it for me too and call out stuff because you know my attention span is getting smaller and smaller. So. I'm becoming the modern audience. But no, I really think that's true, that we are just like a bunch of guys sitting around drinking a couple beers and just shooting the shit about movies. And yeah, it's not, well, I don't have any movies in front of me right now, but it's not me going, look what I bought.
Right.
Oh, this is what I bought today.
I've got 15 different copies of this, but it's got a new slip cover.
Oh, we could start a 3-hour stream on that with me.
Or the reverse of that. I really wanted that movie, but it was $1. Fuck that shit.
Hey, am I going to take that chance? Am I going to, man, I had to bite the bullet, man. I had to bite the bullet.
And that was just a joke. So if somebody
that wasn't named at anybody, was it?
That wasn't named at anybody.
That was just a joke.
No, because I go on Whatnot, and these people are like bitching about spending $1 on a movie.
Yep, I know you bitch about it all the time. That's why I brought it up.
Oh yeah, that was
Because I always tell you, you know, knowing that you have a whatnot problem is the first step to overcoming your whatnot problem.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, Sean, I deleted it. So I'm not going on there anymore as of today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
No, I did. I did because it was getting like, if I can't, because I don't sleep good at night because of my legs, you know, my restless legs and stuff. Yeah. So it's like 3:30 in the morning. Let's see what the old Whatnot's doing, because those California people are like, sell.
So Kenny's like, buy.
Yeah, and I'm on there, and like stupid me, and they're like, DVDs 50 cents a piece. And I'm like, sold. Let's see what I don't have. You know?
Just watch porn like a normal person.
Then a week later, like 3 fucking boxes come to my door. You know?
Yeah, I only buy from Alf, and if he's not on, I'm not on. I get all these notifications from people I follow, and it's like, oh, $2 Blu-ray stacks. Yeah, nah, it's not Alf. I'm not even gonna bother.
Yeah, I literally deleted it because it was getting bad. It was getting bad.
Yeah, I was going to call an intervention on you. I've been telling you that in your comments.
I mean, I got my last daughter. I swear to God, I'm not lying to you. I have a laundry basket that I keep my laundry in, that I literally had to take out to go get the boxes, because there was like 5 boxes, and these things were like stacked. And then I'm thinking, I hear my mom in my head going, when are you going to watch these goddamn movies? When you have all these movies from before. When are you going to watch them? And I'm like talking to, I'm serious. I talk to myself. It's like, yeah, Mom, I understand that, but 50 cents, you can't beat the 50 cents, and she's like, she's been gone, but it's like, she's still in my head, and I can hear her, and then all I hear is that going, like the disgust going, So that's what I go through. Hey, that's what I go through at night when I can't sleep. I hear voices in my head.
I hear that same noise coming from my wife when she walks by my movie room.
Well, at least she's alive. My mom's passed away for 3 years now, so it's just like I hear that voice and I'm like,
I know.
And
my wife just goes, more horror movies.
I just tell my wife, the boxes will come in the mail because I pre-order stuff, and be like, well, today I'm going to get like 3 or 4 boxes. I pre-ordered those like a month ago or whatever. And she's like, whatever. So she's numb to it now, but you guys get to all meet her in 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
I can't wait. Actually.
I'm excited.
I cannot wait.
4 weeks. Yeah. The 29th.
Yeah.
Right?
We can get up. No.
Yeah.
2 weeks from today is the 14th.
Yeah. It's 4 weeks.
Oh, okay. So it's the last show of the month. Gotcha.
Yeah. Last show of the month.
The 29th.
Right. Yeah. I'm so used to us only doing 2 shows a month that it's like, messing with me. So.
Yep. So if I can settle her down, her nerves are going nuts.
Yeah, she's going to be fine.
She's going to be fine.
She's going to be a little nervous. So everybody be nice to her.
She'll be fine.
She's going to sit in another room, not with me, because she doesn't want me monkeying with her.
Okay.
Greg, thank you very much. He says you
Greg.
guys have great chemistry together, talking about movies and music, and around the same age, laughing and having fun. That's why we do it. We're doing it for fun. We're not doing it obviously for the viewership. I mean, right now we have 8 people watching. And I promote the show. I made a clip and sent it around and trying to get people to watch, but I'm definitely not doing this for views.
Yeah.
None of us are. None of us are going to make $1 million. We're not going to start a Patreon collection and, start selling T-shirts or anything.
Yeah, we're not going to be influencers.
Influence this.
I think the only thing we're going to influence is each other, and that's and maybe some people in our audience to watch a good movie. And if we do that, then we've done our job. And that's about it. That's what we're here for. And
yeah, I've seen quite a few movies based on your gentlemen's recommendations from the last year, and those are movies that I would not have seeked out without you guys. So I
same here. Yeah,
truly appreciate that.
Yeah, same here. I've seen a bunch of movies, definitely from Jim and Kenny too, and from the chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Mr. Dan got me hooked on the martial art movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like every like Monday he does on Mr. Dan's channel. Mike with the Westerns got me onto the Westerns. Yeah. So it's like, I'm watching them and getting, more versed in that. Corey,
Yeah.
Carlos.
Yeah.
Because I never knew about Carlos until Jim had him on. And now I'm on his channel and picking up all these different like Eastwood movies and stuff like that I never even heard of, or like in that, like Bronson, like, there's like so many.
Dan, I like that. I was there. Making me sound like an asshole, Dan.
I feel the same way. I'm like, that played at my theater. Oh, what didn't play at your theater, Sean?
Cool as ice. That didn't play in my fucking theater.
Played at mine.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
Words to live by.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's movie recommendation time. So Kenny, what you got?
All right, this one is a theatrical gem that I watched on Tubi from 2015, and it's called The Sand. Okay, it's actually not. I gave it 3.5 Whoppers out of 5. I did. It's an all-night graduation party that goes terribly wrong. That that everything just like sucks you in. It's sort of like Tremors, Jaws, like all that stuff.
Blood Beach.
I know nobody in this. If you guys know Brooke Butler, Chloe Berry, Cynthia Marcella, Dean Geyser. All I know is there's a black guy on there. He's a big, fat black guy. Well, I am a big, fat white guy. But he's a big, fat. And in order for him to, they plot all the, their car breaks down, so they have to get on to high ground because it's chasing them. And the big, fat black guy gets in a barrel. And he goes, I gotta pee, man. I gotta pee. And the guy goes, just do it in there. And he goes, no, man, that's shameful. That's shameful. And I'm laughing my ass off watching this. They're not the greatest actors in the world. It was a cool premise, and I enjoyed it. But I think you guys will get a kick out of it. It's not the greatest movie in the world, but it is kind of funny. And it's called The Sand. The
giant octopus. That's what it looks like. Is it a giant octopus or something?
Yeah, it has a tremor, a Tremors kind of vibe to it. Yeah. But it's not bad. It just is the big black guy on there in there.
Looks like they're just doing random.
Yeah, it's a screen.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know if the black guy. Him. Yeah. Oh, that's him right there. Yup. Yeah, him getting on the because the sheriff is in the. There he is. There. There's the big boy. He's and he's stuck in a barrel. He's stuck in a. Oh, it's remarkable.
Oh, yams.
Yeah.
The sand.
I see yams. The girls are cute. I don't know any of the girl. I don't know any of the girls personally, but they are not yet.
Yeah, the restraining order kicked in last week.
but it is if you want something if you're folding wash or you're cleaning up or you're moving something around, just to have something on background noise. It's not gonna you're not gonna say, Kenny, why the hell are you watching this? But most of my movies at 3:00 in the morning, I'm like, why the hell did I put this on? But that was a good one, and it's called The Sand.
Yeah, it sounded like Blood Beach the way you were describing it originally, which is an old movie with John Saxon and sweaty Burt Young.
Sweaty Burt Young. What is it called? Blood Beach?
Blood Beach. That one's a hard one to find. It might be on Shudder, but as far as a physical copy of it, good luck. Unless it's a bootleg.
Yeah. Some of it might be 1980.
Yeah.
Okay, it's on Plex.
Okay. And as a matter of fact, since we're going with the Jaws ripoffs, I wouldn't call Blood Beach a Jaws ripoff, but it did rip off the Jaws 2 tagline, because Jaws 2 had one of the most famous taglines ever, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water. Okay. Mm-hmm. Blood Beach's tagline was, when you thought it was safe to get to the water, you won't even make it that far. Or you won't even get off the beach, or something along those lines, and it was just, good one.
Nice.
Okay, so am I up?
Yep,
you're up.
All right. Well, I promised earlier that I would stick to the theme of Jaws ripoffs, and Sean mentioned earlier that Jaws was obviously the first blockbuster, or first summer blockbuster, but arguably you could say the first blockbuster was actually The Exorcist, which came out a couple of years earlier. And if nothing else, Hollywood has always been repetitive. They're willing to say, hey, what if we take this and we take that and we put them together, okay? So what do you get if you get Jaws and The Exorcist, combine them for a ripoff? You get The Car.
Oh.
From 1977, and again, you might be wondering, why is this a Jaws ripoff? Well, it's a Jaws ripoff in the fact that you can sub out the shark for a car and the water for the desert, and you got the same movie. And my God, I love The Car. Excuse me. It was one of those drive-in movies that they used to play on HBO all the time when I was a kid. Stars James Brolin, Ronnie Cox, and what the hell's her name? Kathleen Lloyd, I believe. Yeah, Kathleen Lloyd.
Kathleen Lloyd, yep.
And spoiler alert, the way Kathleen Lloyd gets taken out is one of the greatest scenes in exploitation history. She's sitting in her trailer talking on the phone, and that's all I'll say. It's just so good. But the car also has something in common with Jaws the Revenge. At the end of Jaws the Revenge, where it blows up, you hear a little T-Rex roar, okay, that people have been making fun of for years. Guess what? When the car blows up at the end, you kind of hear like a demonic T-Rex roar. So,
oh, wow.
And look in the flames or the explosion, and people have been arguing for years whether or not you can actually see like a face in the smoke. You know, so, but I know Dan, if he's still in the chat, or Texas, both of them are big time fans of this movie, and I am definitely a big time. Yeah, I know Dan loves it. So that is my recommendation for this week. 1977's exploitation classic, The Car.
I was looking for it. I just literally got that in the mail. I just picked that one up.
It's great.
That was one of my pickups.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, Kenny. It's a lot of fun.
That was an HBO staple. I love that movie. I have that on a double pack with Food of the Gods, I think.
Nice.
From Shot Factory. So
yeah, this is my Scream Factory Blu-ray.
Yeah, our Scream Factory. Yeah. My pick is not in anywhere near as good as The Car, but it is a Jaws ripoff. It's also an Asylum movie, so I feel like I'm stealing from Kenny's playbook.
Kenny's so happy.
But I just watched this actually last weekend, and it's, as far as Jaws ripoffs and Asylum movies go, you can do worse than this one, but I thought it was all right. It's called Shark Warning, and basically what happens is these two, I think they're not twin brothers, maybe they are, I don't know, one of them gets attacked and killed by a shark when they're like 5 years old, and 20 years later the surviving boy comes back to this town. It's by Lake Havasu, and he wants to kind of make amends with, or not make amends with his uncle or whatever, but he wants to, I guess, find his uncle and kind of smooth things out for his uncle left him when the shark attack happened. That really isn't the point of the movie at all. Basically, the same shark that killed his brother has now come through the dam because somebody has blown a hole in the dam, because there's a fishing tournament and there's no fish in the lake anymore. So to let fish in, their big solution to the problem is to blow a hole in the dam, not restock the lake, but they blow a hole in the dam. So, so they do that. This is the surviving brother. This is the barmaid that he eats. And then she becomes key to the whole killing the shark. And this is the drunk uncle that is aged 20 years and is now part of the plan too. And this is some random douchebag from the town that they hired to kill the shark. And, you know, you can figure out what happens. But these are the two boys before one of them dies. And then this is behind the scenes crew stuff that doesn't matter. But it's a really bad Jaws knockoff, but it's got some pretty decent CGI for an Asylum movie. You can get it on Prime. It says right here you can rent it from $2.99. If that's the case, it was free as of in June. Maybe as July rolls around, it maybe became not free. I don't know. I watched it for free. It won an award. What did it win? Ooh, a bronze telly for general action and adventure. So it's got to be good.
Schindler's List won that award, I believe.
But if you're really looking for something to watch and don't want to use your brain at all, watch Shark Warning. I do not own a physical copy of it. I will never own a physical copy of it, but it is entertaining. And apparently The mayor of the town is played by a woman who starred in the Dar Man videos. If you know the Dar Man videos on Facebook, they're like these inspirational videos that some guy makes to,
Inspire.
reinforce and inspire your behavior so you're not a schmuck. I don't know, but
Nope. Obviously, I've never watched those videos because I'm a
yeah,
schmuck.
they're pretty bad. But just DHAR space MANN. Just Google that. You'll find out what the Darman videos are.
It is still free on Prime.
On Prime? Okay. All right. So this is wrong. It's not $2.99. So you can get to watch Shark Winning for free
Nice.
if you've got Prime.
And is the car on Tubi?
That I
'Cause that might be
literally
on
bought-
Peacock because I think that's a Universal movie. Well, it originally was a Universal movie.
No, it's on Amazon to rent and Prime. Amazon Prime.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, because
Well,
I
you
think
said that
that's,
you just got a copy of it, and you'll enjoy it, Kenny.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got,
It's a lot of fun.
like I said, I paid a whole $1 for it. So
Oh, it's definitely worth that.
It's worth more than $1. Oh,
yeah.
I'd buy that for $1.
So it was like one of those ones where like nobody was picking it up, and it's like when he named it, I kind of remember seeing it like on the early days of HBO. I might have seen some of it, but I didn't like realize what it was. So I just like, it's $1.
Yeah.
If it's like there's like so many movies I'll pick up for like 50 cents or $1 that if they're bad, they just go to somebody else.
Yeah, it's 50 cents. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just like, but it's like, let me tell you, those boxes were fucking heavy though. Here, I'll show you.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Kenny.
Fucking whatnot.
Oh, Sean, our friend, might have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah,
so.
you think? And it was just
Well-
like, and they're like, oh, and it was just like, whew.
So I'm going to call up Dan, and I'm going to call up Sean, Cinephile, all the Philadelphia people in our little community to come over to your house and do an intervention on you. I mean, I'm worried about you, buddy.
It's about an 8-hour drive for me, so I don't know.
Yeah, but like I said, I deleted it, and I had one movie. I have one movie left from eBay that's coming, and I deleted that too.
You deleted eBay?
After I'm deleting eBay as soon as that movie comes in.
Okay.
From
right.
eBay. So I'm not, the only thing I'll look on is like, the Blu-ray.com or something like that on, like that. But I can't be doing that because it's like I have all this stuff, and it's just like, when are you going to watch it? And it's like, baseball season, football season is heating up, and it's like, good golly, wrestling.
Corno lives.
That
That guy had one of the greatest afros in movie history. That's
Yes,
the
he
dude who
did.
played the National Guardsman in Earthquake. And he's got this humongous afro. It's
Oh, really?
It's glorious.
He's in Food of the Gods.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. Yeah. He had like the greatest drive-in career of my childhood. Like every time I'd go to the movies, he'd be in a movie.
Yeah.
And my dad'd be like, "Hey, it's Marshall Gortner."
Yep.
And I thought he was like a big star because he was always in these movies.
Him and Doug McClure ended up in
Yes.
a lot of movies together.
Doug McClure. Every time I hear McClure, all I can think of is
The
on The
Simpsons.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what that was based on.
Was it really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. That was like an inside joke.
You would have seen me in the movie.
Oh man. All right. I'm just checking to see what's going on in the comments because I feel like I neglected the comments quite a bit. And I apologize, guys. Sarah, happy birthday to your dad tomorrow.
Yeah, happy
80
birthday
80
to your
years old.
dad.
Oh, speaking of birthdays, I forgot. Happy belated birthday, Kenny.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
thank you.
happy birthday,
Your
Kenny.
birthday was last week, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Last Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it was a good one, my friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, my
Very much so.
I was telling you guys it was my niece got married on the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth and Chris, congratulations. I don't believe you're watching it now. But it was really nice. And we went out for my birthday last night. They came back from their honeymoon. So
Outstanding.
Nice.
yeah, I'll show you the cool book. I don't have it with me. They got me a movie book where it's like you have to guess the clues to guess the movie.
Nice.
Awesome.
So yeah, Chris loves my niece's husband loves to play games. So it's like he's seen that and he's like, we got to get that for your uncle. So I was like, absolutely. So me and my other niece, the younger niece, last night were sitting there and their mom's like, put it away. Well, wait. Yeah. You know.
That's what I used to say, or that's what people used to tell me when I was in puberty. Oh,
whoa!
See, there's that anarchy I was talking about. You know, it's the spice.
Were you doing
of life,
Louis
my
C.K.
friend.
before Louis C.K.?
Yeah, really. Louis.
Here, there's something I want to show you. But no, guys, in all seriousness,
Yeah.
the last year's been fantastic with you guys. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And everybody in the audience, obviously.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike, Dan, Mr. Dan, Patrick. It's like romper room right now.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I feel like every week on my
You
show
know,
when I do that shit at
Texas, you know.
Yeah.
Greg,
Yeah.
Texas, Sean, all of them. I mean,
Yeah. I want to thank everybody that's supported the show by either being in the chat or, we've had some excellent guests over the year too. I mean, obviously Jim, but Horror Punk, Mr. Dan, Mike, Corey, Texas, of
Brendan.
course, Brendan. Yep. So
we got more that want to be on the show.
Yeah.
As
Absolutely.
a matter of fact, Greg dropped in the comments on the show that I did with Sean on my show last week that he really wants to see him on this show as a guest one time. And I said, I'm sure we could work that out because I know Sean would like to be on our show as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, and I would love to get Corey on here again because he's only been on here once. And
yep,
there's quite a few people I would love to have on this show.
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
talking to Jeff. Jeff, you guys know Jeff Man 316 on the. I was talking to him about coming on the show too. He has a huge library of movies, so
I think the next year is going to be bigger and better than ever, guys.
Oh yeah,
yep. It can only go up from here.
Well, 20.
I crawled my way to the middle and I fucked my way down.
Thank you, Greg.
Thanks,
thank
Greg.
you, Greg. You're awesome,
All right.
buddy.
On that note, I am going to sign us off for the evening.
It's a good idea.
Thanks, everybody. And again, here's to 365 more days of fun. And thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
And we will be back in 2 weeks. We don't know what our topic is for the next show yet.
But it's going to be something just awesome.
It'll be a doozy.
It'll be magical.
Maybe we could do something with Superman since the Superman movie's coming out that time.
That's a possibility. We'll talk about it.
We'll throw it against the wall, see what sticks. Like
Ah,
pasta.
well, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
You never
All
throw
right.
pasta against the walls, make it stick. That's when it's done. I'm a chef. Man. Fucking thing.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Thank
And,
you,
everybody. Thank
Thanks,
you so
everybody.
See you in 2 and 2.
Bye.
Bye.
guys.